Yeah. Okay. I think everything is working now. So we have recording, and we could start. And if some people will be late, no problem. Jen, Yvonne, Olga, Diana, Andreotti. Okay, perfect. We have already a bunch of people. Let's start. And one more time, I already asked Olga and Diana and Erica already confirmed that they can hear me. I just want to make sure that everyone else is also can hear me. Guys, could you please confirm? And by the way, maybe you will get yourself familiar in the classroom and you could already practice typing, because that's how we will be communicating today between each other. Could you please, guys, confirm that you can hear me? Find chat window, type it there. Okay, Yvonne. Yeah, sound is okay. Jen, I can hear you loud and clear. Very nice. Okay, it seems like everyone is online and everything works so far. Great. So connectives and how to use connectives to explore limiting beliefs. First of all, guys, as usually we are going through certain particular process. So let me jump into the uh, bigger frame. Yeah, conversational reframing. Well, it's everything what we do right now, diving into beliefs and in limiting beliefs in particular, and then we are diving into the how to explore them, how to spot them, what to do with them. Eventually, what is the ultimate purpose? Well, ultimate purpose is not just to identify, not just to have a system how to elicit limiting beliefs, but we're supposed to have tools and reach the final destination. And the final destination is when we are able to reframe these beliefs. Yeah. So if a client come to with some kind of limiting statements, we are doing some exploration. We digging deeper. We will find some clusters of beliefs, limiting ones. We identify our intervention point, so where we are getting in with reframing, and then we apply reframing patterns. So all that sequence of webinars and sessions which we are going through, eventually we will arrive to the point of reframing. But before we do that, I would like you to have a really solid foundation. So you're supposed to know what beliefs are, what limiting beliefs are, classification of limiting beliefs, where they are hiding, how to, with a very simple set of questions, kind of almost like kind of assessment, but in a simple way, yeah, not in a boring way, but conversational way. You could explore very easily, almost invisible, I would say, like Robert Dild said, that sleight of mouse kind of way, when people don't even notice, yeah, that you are exploring and finding some limiting beliefs in a conversational manner. And then eventually you arrive to the reframing. So all those parts are, we're supposed to master. And again, I would like to make it very clear that substantial part of the material I took from Sleight of Mouse, written by Robert Dilts. So if you would like to read more and know where like major part of the material comes from, it comes from Sleight of Mouse. I think I enjoy that book. I think it's really golden mine, I would say, for coaches. Yeah. So we are going through first few minutes of the typical routine procedure. Guys, first of all, switch off your mobile phones, eliminate all the instructions. I would like you to focus this hour precisely here. And of course, you could do many other things, you could multitask, but what I'm saying is that the benefits and your learning and everything will be influenced substantially if you will allow your email programs works right now and will be pop up and you will be answering something and drinking tea and talking with the friends. So of course it will influence the way you digest that particular material. So I would like you to, if possible, to eliminate everything. Okay, and a few words about where we are. It's Headway Learn and Practice Laboratory or Lab. The whole idea of lab is to give you opportunity to learn on a weekly basis and you have right now and forever, it's going to be free option. Like what you do now, attending certain particular webinars on a weekly basis in the coaching growth direction, it's free. So that's what we do now. You don't need to be concerned, or there will be no payment required. There will be other options, and from September or maybe a little bit earlier, I already will make announcement, because you could do faster, you could go deeper, I could add some homework, you could join Trello, we could do lots of practice, we could there will be some other options which already imply like a deeper or faster track. Yeah? And yeah, that's going to be on a monthly subscription, and the payment will be symbolical, 20 something British pounds, I don't know, 30 euro per month. I mean, it's nothing really super dramatic. And I will explain exactly what will be included. And also what will be included is coaching circle, so you could immediately practice what you learn, and not just free coaching circle, but high level coaching circle. Coaching circle where your partners will be ACC, PCC level of coaches. Well, I mean, everything is already included in that subscription like kind of type of laboratory. So right now, what you do, no worries, it's going to be free forever. Yeah, so paid options will be very much affordable, and details I'll provide later. It's going to be Headway Learning Practice Lab. Okay, let's move on with our material. Today, what we're going through Connectives, how we can use Connectives in order to assess beliefs and values, or make it audit. How to use Connectives for limiting belief clusters elicitation. Yeah, so as soon as we spotted certain particular limiting statement, we could use Connectives to dig deeper and to discover the whole cluster or set of beliefs which are connected to each other. As I already mentioned, beliefs are kind of traveling and forming by groups, we call it clusters. And also today we are going to see how we could reinforce and strengthen that beliefs in a conversational manner. So again, we'll be using Connectives in order to make certain particular beliefs or certain particular criteria values stronger if we need it. Okay. So I hope we're going to cover everything. And quickly, well, first of all, I would like you literally, in your own words, as usual, in order to prepare your mind for our work today, I would like you to type, what do you know about Connectives? Have you heard anything? I mean, in your own way. If you don't know anything, you could just type don't know. I just want your mind to, to wander. Yeah. So that's how adults learn. Yeah. And as an adult learning professional, I'm preparing your mind for better learning. So the question is, what do you already know? Yeah. It's going to be the natural one. Could you please type if you heard what Connectives are? What do you know? How you would define them in your own way, in your own words? So I'm not expecting you from any kind of academical, definition. Doesn't matter. Don't worry. Links. Okay, Yvonne. So it is kind of, well, yeah, links. Links Connectives. It's almost, there is some kind of equivalence. Yeah, it's more synonymous of in the meaning. Anyone else? Yes and. Okay, so that kind of connection. So it is not, so it's some kind of addition, yeah? It's some kind of enriching something which already stated. Erika, because, okay, yeah, good guys, perfect. So you have already some clue, perfect, that's good. Why do you need that connection? Or let's start not from why do you need, let's start from your state. So in the nearest 50 minutes, we will be working together. How you would like to be, what kind of state you would like to be, please use certain particular word. And when you type that word, please associate and try to feel it. The idea is that everyone has their own description of their resourceful states. And now, I don't know how you would like to be now, next 50 minutes. What is your resourceful state? What is your description? I don't know. Some people would like to have some fun. Some people would like to be relaxed. Some people would like to be alert. Some people curious. Olga is curious. Yvonne receptive. Okay, perfect. Guys, try to feel, associate, because that word means to you something. Yeah, it means. And well, try to close your eyes and for 10 seconds feel receptive or feel present, attentive for Oscar. Perfect. Curious. How does it feel to be curious? So really, we in NLP we have some kind of, ideally, of course, ideally, it would be nice if you would anchor your resourceful state. Okay, guys, something is going on. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I set up that every participant, when they enter, they are automatically muted, but somehow it didn't work for Mary. I'm sorry, and it seems like there are some noises. Guys, yeah, in the future, no worries. It's not your mistake. In the future, when you enter into the classroom, just make sure, of course, you cannot do it immediately, but take a look if your microphone is muted or not. Because if it's not, and I'm not quite sure why it was not, because I set it up automatically muted for everyone who is entering. But you see that there was a huge noise just a few seconds ago because somehow some people was not muted. Yeah, no worries. Okay, it's not your fault. Nobody's fault. Okay, guys, I see that you already described your resourceful state. Perfect. Ideally, you're supposed to anchor it. You're supposed to be in that state every time when you need it. So that's going to be the really mastering kind of state process. Yeah, in NLP, I don't know if you're familiar with NLP. Yeah, we have the anchoring procedure. What I do usually, I have certain particular description and certain particular anchors for my working state. So one thing, when I work on my own in front of computer, I would like to be in one state. When I am with client or have a coaching session, I have an anchor for that particular state. I have a clear description what it is. I would like to be in a certain particular precise state. And I don't want to every time to be slightly different one. Yeah, I want to in 1 minute to be in the right state. So the fastest track to do that is to anchor it. But yeah, I don't want to right now to go into the completely different topic. Right now we are not in the anchoring kind of topic. But just for you to know that anchoring is kind of, you know, kind of have a clear description what state is, and have some kind of kinesthetic movement or touch or some kind of physical movement which you lock, you know, that particular state in. But right now, I think when you even describe it with one word and try to feel it, yeah, well, it's kind of already good enough. It's much better than nothing. Yeah. So we know how you would like to be, and could you please express why you are interested in that topic? Guys, you are here. You are my heroes, as I always say, you know, for people who are coming into the webinar and spending, you know, 1 hour of, you know, for real learning, yeah, investing in yourself. Not everyone can do that. I mean, very few. I have, you know, hundreds of people kind of registering, but very few are really coming. And so it's like a high energy kind of folks. So what is your plan to practice, and why? Why do you find this particular topic interesting? So it's just for reinforcement of your motivation. Just could you please type? As soon as you express it in your words, in your own words, it's already good enough. Committed in investing in myself. Perfect, Eren. Very nice. Serve better to my clients. Olga. Perfect. I want to learn, Oscar. Curious, like to be. It's okay. Okay, this is about state area. Interested because I like to embed techniques so that they okay naturally in coaching. Very nice. Yeah, that's very nicely said, Jen. Because one thing is to read some material, another thing is to know, and the very different thing is to have it naturally comes out, you know, in during your uh, live sessions. So it's a very kind of I would say higher level. It's already skill, you know, from knowing to having a skill, meaning habit, meaning already embodied it. Yeah. So it's there is a big gap, and the only, you know, way to bridge that gap is to practice. Okay, perfect. Very nice, Yvonne. Perfect. All right. So our classical procedure is done. Those 4 questions I usually ask you in order to, you know, to get into the right state. And we are. Let me just see. Someone is making nice drawings, but I just wanna quickly remove it because I think right now we don't need any. Okay, perfect. I'm sorry. All right, so beliefs. Not everyone really visited previous sessions, so few minutes I'm gonna spend into what we have done already, because for you I think it's important to see the logic what we are doing, not just kind of jumping in the middle, connectives, you know, for limiting belief elicitation or reinforcement of positive ones. So where we are, well, there are um, several sessions, yeah, already in a Headway lab. I think we are working already more than months. It's totally accessible. You could, you know, you could go to YouTube. You have all the links in your emails if you check it. And I think there are already 3 or 4 sessions. So what we've done already? First of all, we identified what limiting beliefs are. Yeah, briefly, that's what on your screen. Limiting beliefs are generalizations, yeah, which has certain particular type of connection inside of their parts. Yeah, causality, you know, one causes another. So connection between parts is cause effect. You see on the top left corner. And another type of connection is meaning, or sometimes you call it complex equivalence connection. Yeah. So something means something. Yeah. So there are 2 types of relationship or connections between parts inside of the belief structure. It's causation or meaning. Yeah. And also what beliefs are, it's about boundaries. So somehow what we can or cannot do, and so on, so on. Boundaries about what? About world around us, about our, you know, capabilities, you know, about our behavior or whatever. Yeah. So everything related to kind of, and of course about other people. So as a result, that's what beliefs are. Just for you to, you know, to have quick observation what we've done. Right now you see on your screens that again we covered it quickly. I'm gonna just reinforce what we've done last time. Each belief, well, if you dive into the structure, you supposed to see 2 types of connections. You see that between first and second part it's cause effect, and between second and third one is the complex equivalence connection. Yeah, something means something. Those effects, those evidences mean something. It leads to value criteria, so meaning. So when you elicit the full belief statement, usually you're supposed to see 3 parts, both types of connections. Yeah. First connection. Let me just use my annotation drawings. Yeah, first type of connection here, cause effect. Second type of connection here, complex equivalent connection. So we already practice it, guys. You could refer to previous webinars. You could see, because we've done already lots of practice. We you know, we asked our participants to come up with some limiting statements, and we elicited the full statements. All that process is done. So please go ahead in your free time. You could check it out. Yeah, I don't want right now to spend more time for that, but I would like you to know what we have done. Okay, so let me again remove those drawings somehow. My drawing, okay, it works. Good. All right. So let's move. We also identified one thing is belief, another thing is limiting belief. So what is limiting? What does it really mean? How you would identify it? Of course, on a subconscious level, like on a common sense, you understand what limiting is. But as a professional, you need to have a deeper clarity what is limiting belief. And probably if you're familiar with NLP, you know that every belief, whether it's limiting or not, at certain time was not limiting. I mean, otherwise, why would you even formed it? Yeah. The point is that every belief served certain particular purpose, and we call it positive intention. Yeah. So when it served that some particular purpose, it was quite a positive. It definitely has a function. Later on, maybe circumstances changed, maybe some other things changed, and now you find this belief, or your client finds certain particular belief which served well in the past. Now you consider it limiting because somehow it's not allowing you to move, or your client to move further. Well, again, we dived into the structure, or I would say hierarchy of limiting beliefs. We identified 3 major areas. You could see it right now on your screen. There are 3 major: hopeless, helpless, and worthless. Yeah, there are 3 big ones, and you could easily make a sense what the hierarchy is. Yeah, the worthless kind of identity level, the highest type of limiting belief, and then next one comes hopeless. Yeah, when people actually, no matter what they do, there is no hope. And the most easier one to deal with is helpless. Actually, it can be helped. They need help. The level of capabilities, behaviors, or sometimes circumstances. Again, yeah, right now, guys, don't be kind of freaked out that I'm jumping, lots of material covering. Actually, we spent hour practically on each part of it. You could watch it. Yeah. It's already all in recordings. So I just cannot do it right now. Otherwise, we are not going to be covering connectives. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, I think it's not fair if you came right now for the first time into the webinars and without all that kind of mentioning what we have done, probably lots of things will not make sense to you. So I'm trying. I would encourage you guys to actually to be a regular visitors, and if you cannot visit something, to definitely register, because we are sending recordings to every registered participant. So if you're already registered at least once, you will be member already Headway Learn and Practice Lab. I mean, it's free of charge, as I told you, and we will be sending you recordings, and you'll be already in a stream. Yeah. So please register every time, kind of for the next webinar if you find it useful, because we will be sending our recordings every time for all registered users. Yeah. Okay, so the last part, which we covered literally last webinar, is the elicitation procedure, 5-step elicitation process, how you could identify limiting beliefs areas. And actually, some people could call it motivation assessment. It's actually, I find this tool as a brilliant tool. I mean, whatever, I would like you to pay attention to the just those rectangular ones. It's, I think when you look at the rectangular ones, it become almost like a mnemo technique, so we could easily remember it. So don't pay attention to the upper part. Yeah, just pay attention to rectangular. Every client, when they come to your session, has certain particular goal to achieve. Yeah, I mean, it can be framed as a problem or as a something I would like to achieve. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's just a way of talking about that. So every particular client, if you work with the client a little bit, yeah, in the beginning of session, it will be able to state outcome which he or she wants to have, right? So person and outcome. What is missing? Well, what is missing is that something supposed to lead that person to outcome. Usually it's behavior. So meaning the person, your client, need to do something, right? In order to reach outcome. So that's a, when you are as a coach working with a client, eventually you are practically working on a plan step by step. Of course, it's already advanced part. It comes later after investigation of the problem, after digging, then you arrive to strategy, you arrive to certain particular actionable steps. So you are coming to plan or type of or certain behavior which your client think will lead to that particular outcome. So now 3 rectangles. Person, generate behavior which leads to outcome. Guys, is it easy to remember that particular 3 rectangles, like the whole idea? Could you please type yes if it is? If something is not easy or doesn't make any sense, could you please type, Alex, you are talking some nonsense. I have no clue. What are you talking about? Yeah. Okay. All right. Seems like yes, yes, yes. Good. All right. So let's say you remembered in your mind. If you close your eyes right now, you could remember person, behavior, outcome. Yeah. So if you remember that, let's see. Now you could please pay attention to the upper part. We could go for 5 questions which you could ask your client immediately in order to make a really simple but very powerful assessment. Assessment which will give you lots of information, including identification of areas where limiting beliefs potentially are. That's great. You could do it literally in the first 5 minutes with any client, because every client has certain particular goal or outcome. So that model is actually working for any session. So guys, do you have any I would like to have a volunteer, and I would like to go in a real situation, so you could have not a theoretical material but the real one, and I would like also you to practice that stuff with me. So any volunteers? Anyone can enable their microphone? Actually, I can enable by myself, but how would you? Could you please type, guys, if you someone would like to be a volunteer to work with me? But you need to make sure that you have a audio system in place, yeah. And I will enable your microphone as soon as you confirm. Could you please type I am ready, or I can, or whatever. I need just one person to have it a little bit more practical, not just me talking. No one wants to be a volunteer. Wow. Okay. So how can I demonstrate anything? Let me think. Okay, Jen, thank you very much. You are the bravest one. Okay, let me just, thank you. Let me just unmute you and see how it's gonna work. Now you are unmuted. Let's see if our kind of audio connection is good enough so everyone can hear us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very, very well. Okay. Guys, can you hear Jen? Could you please type I can, I can, I can? Jen, could you say a few more words? Just kind of to make sure that
I hope I don't have to remember the questions. And that
no, don't worry. I will be asking you questions. So right now, don't even worry, because I don't want to pressurize anyone. Okay, so everyone can. Okay, good. Jen, what I would like you to do right now is to come up with some, yes, some kind of, imagine that you are client. I am your coach, and you have certain particular goal or outcome to achieve.
Okay.
So could you please tell me what the outcome you would like to have, or kind of goal? Doesn't matter. I mean, if it's imaginary or real, it's up to you.
Talking very naturally about change and how coaching can help.
Okay, perfect. So Jen, you want to have a very natural way of talking about change and talking about coaching, how coaching can help, to potential client, for example. That's the outcome which you would like to achieve. So tell me, please, on a scale on 1 to 10, so where the 1 is, well, it's like not true at all, or not desirable, for example, or 10 is fully desirable. So the question is, how desirable this outcome is for you?
10.
10. So it's 100% desirable. Perfect. Guys, from 1 to 10, Jen appointed that the outcome is very much desirable. So 10. Okay. Let me type 10. And just we are gonna see the numbers. Okay, so guys, you see that in your screen, you see I started from green rectangular outcome, and you see above the outcome there is a word desirable. So I asked Jen how desirable your outcome is, yeah, or how much do you desire, yeah, from 1 to 10. 10. That was the answer. Now I'm moving a little bit towards the left. You see that there is a bridge between behavior and outcome. The question is that not really, I would like to know what Jen is thinking about how some particular behavior will really be able to produce that outcome. So connection between behavior and outcome actually under question. And sometimes clients have a real issues. How possible is it? So I'm asking Jen, tell me please from 1 to 10, again, the 1 is weakest, the 10 is strongest. How possible do you think for you to reach your destination, yeah, to reach your outcome?
9.
9. Do you have any kind of time frame? Do you have any kind of restrictions there?
Within the next month.
Okay. So how possible is it for you to reach your outcome in the nearest months?
I'd say 9.
9. Okay, it's very much possible. Perfect. I am typing 9 right now. Guys, please pay attention that what I also ask about some limitations, because sometimes people maybe have in mind how quickly they would like to reach and so on, and it will influence their evaluation, but maybe they forget to tell you. So yeah, you know that restrictions can make it realistic less or more realistic. Yeah? And some people say, oh, I want to have in 1 week something done. And as a result, subconsciously, they just don't believe it's even possible. As a result, they give you, instead of 9 or 10, give you 2 or 3, and you are very surprised why. Well, okay. So that's why I was cautious a little bit. I asked Jen about some restrictions. Guys, 2 questions. Yeah, I ask. How desirable? 10. Is it really possible? 9. Perfect. So now we are moving to the left. You see that there is a behavior. Well, not every behavior is, I would say, ecologically appropriate for the client. Maybe they know that they need to do something, but maybe they are not comfortable with that for whatever reason. It could be moral, it could be different considerations. Yeah. So, Jen, I assume, yeah, assume, because that conversation already supposed to be in some kind of middle of the coaching session. So I assume you know certain particular behavior which you believe will lead you to that outcome. Do you?
Yes.
Okay. So how comfortable are you from 1 to 10 to be involved in that kind of behavior, actually to do what is required?
Because I've worked hard on it, 10.
10. Totally comfortable. Perfect. So, guys, we have a third number. Yeah. And third question, Jen answered 10. We have 10, 9, 10. So, Jen is completely 100% ecologically kind of clean. Yeah. In terms of that particular involved in that particular behavior. We call it ecologically appropriate. All right, we move one step forward. You see, between person and behavior, actually another dangerous area where people could have lots of limiting beliefs, and it's related to, well, their evaluation of how capable they are. Yeah. So sometimes they just don't. It's not about ecology anymore. It's about skill. It's another thing. So then you know what behavior you need to be involved in. So how capable are you from 1 to 10 right now?
8.
8. Great. Yeah, it's such a precision. Great. We have 8. So, and last one. Well, that's a question. You see that now we are moving to the person. That question related to identity level. From 1 to 10, tell me please, what is your evaluation? Do you deserve to reach your outcome or not? 1 to 10.
When I've done a bit more work, 10.
10. You are 100% deserving to have that outcome now. Perfect. Well, guys, the last answer is 10, and now you could see 5 potentially problematic kind of zones where limiting beliefs could be. But, well, obviously, what can I say? After I investigated Jen's situation, I would say she would never ever hire me. It doesn't look like she has any problems. What I mean is that usually people are hiring coach when they tried something to do by themselves and they cannot succeed. They have problems, something, kind of not allowing them to move forward. In other way, they have problem of reaching their outcome. And in Jen's situation, I wouldn't say 9 or 8 indicates really dramatical problems. It seems like she's pretty much kind of knowing everything what needs to be done. She believes there is a behavior. She knows how to do it. She is capable. She is ecologically kind of confident there, and she is deserving. Have no issues in the identity level, and the outcome is fully desirable. So we could say that if you make a sum of all the numbers, yeah, it's gonna be I would say 47, somewhere there, at least from my it looks like. So from 47, from 50, that's my assessment of her motivation. Guys, all the answers are close to 10. Yeah, 47 out of 50. Well, she's super motivated. I would love to have that kind of client, because you have a very high probability of having good results. Yeah. So when you start working with your client, I would always advise you to go through the process. I mean, for example, if right now one of the questions, let's say where the 8 capability would be like 5, well, what would it indicate? Guys, if instead of 8, there will be 5. What can you say when the person has that kind of numbers? 10, 9, 10, 5, 10. Could you please type? Limiting beliefs about being able to do. Perfect, Jen. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So then you need to dive into that area and start kind of digging there. Yeah, because obviously person has certain limiting beliefs related to capability. Yeah, what is stopping you? Well, what is stopping you is we will talk about that, because it is a great question, really great. But what is stopping you is more general, because what is stopping you could be inside of that question. It could be ecological issues. It could be that person believe that it's not possible. It could be identity thing. I mean, that particular question really does not indicate in which area you're supposed to dig. Yeah, why I give you that structure? That structure immediately shows you where limiting beliefs are hiding. What kind of areas? And actually, you have already almost like, I would say, hierarchy, because you have that identity level, capability level, ecology, yeah? So you have already certain hierarchy where to dig. When you ask what stops you, well, person sometimes, yeah, maybe he will give you a bunch of things, and it's going to be not really even clear what to do with that, yeah? So that's why I think that kind of quick assessment would be a great stuff, great tool for us to work with. A room to help a person in obtaining, just a second, a room to help a person in obtaining the outcome. Okay, and where the 5, there is a limit in yeah, exactly, perfect, great. Okay, guys, Jen, thank you very much. What I would like you to do, maybe to, guys, Jen, is it more or less clear what you need to do as a coach? What kind of questions to ask? What do you think? Would you be able to practice it right now as a coach? So be in my place? Jen? Yes. Oh, sorry. It's Jen, I think you muted. Let me just double check. Jen, would you would you be able to do as a coach to do demonstration by yourself?
Yes.
Okay, guys, in this case, could you please volunteers, guys, if anyone wants to be a client? Yeah, sometimes they're unclear about outcome. Of course, you need to spend certain amount of time in the beginning of coaching session to clarify where they would like to go. I mean, what they would like to have as a result. Of course, guys, any volunteers? Would you like to be a client? Who wants to be a client? Just to reinforce it again, the whole process? Oscar, perfect. Oscar, let me just unmute your microphone and we are going to check how everything works. Okay, now you unmuted. Please go ahead.
Good
Okay.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, Oscar. Perfect. Jen, I would like you to be kind of more or less fast because we are still, I would like to cover lots of other material. So you have 5 questions, just more or less, just for people to listen to what need to be done. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna mute my microphone. 3 minutes, 5 minutes maximum.
Hi, Oscar. Thank you for volunteering. I'd like to ask you what outcome you'd like to reach.
Sorry, again?
I'd like to ask you what outcome you'd like to reach.
Okay, I want to help a person that's near me.
Okay, thanks. And on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is low and 10 is high, how desirable is that to you?
10.
So it's really important.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if we can take another step, and if you're looking at how possible it is for that to happen on a scale of 1 is low, 10 is high.
6, I think.
Mm-hmm. And is there a particular time frame that influences that?
Yes.
And what sort of time frame are you thinking?
The scale is going to be about 8.
Okay. Now I've got another question. How confident are you that you know what you need to do that will get you this outcome where 1 is low and 10 is high?
8 again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've just realised, I'm sorry, Oscar, I've skipped something. Before that, I should have asked you, do you know what you need to do to reach that outcome?
Mainly, yes. 9.
9. So, excuse me, Alex, after the 6, there should be a 9 and then it's an 8. The other way around. And finally, Oscar, I'm glad you're still bearing with me. On a scale of 1 is low and 10 is high, how much do you think you deserve to reach that outcome?
10.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thanks. Sorry, Alex. The 8 should come after the 9.
Yeah, I cannot change it because
Oh, sorry.
when I typed it and send it, I have no possibility to change it. It's okay. Jen, thank you very much. Oscar, great job, guys. Thank you very much, for your participation. And at least, of course, we've done it in a very quick way, but at least I think people would have an idea how it can be done. And now we already have sense kind of what difficulties we could have. Jen, brilliant. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna mute you and I'm gonna just make few comments. Yeah. So you see that, of course, I give you the tool, but when you will start working with a client and you identify, clarify the outcome, you already talk about what behaviors they think they need to do, and then you make assessment. So right now, because we are just for educational purposes jumping immediately to that particular elicitation process. Of course, a little bit awkward situation because the person, your client, already supposed to discuss with you in details what kind of behavior he think he need to do or to be involved in, and after that it will be very natural to say, okay, we already discussed that you need to do this. So how comfortable are you doing that? I mean, so it's going to be just one question about appropriateness or ecology. Yeah. Why? Because the behavior already identified previously. So right now, because we are in a educational kind of situation in a classroom, and so we assume that behavior is already clear. So we don't need to evaluate it as a question. So what Jen's supposed to do is that ask, okay, how appropriate that behavior which you think will lead to outcome is, yeah, for you. How comfortable you are doing it. And then the question is, what do you think? Are you capable? Because how comfortable and are you capable, those are two different areas. Comfortable or ecological appropriateness, it's one thing. Capable, it's a skill. It's another thing. I mean, does it make sense, guys? What I wanted to clarify. Could you please confirm that it's clear? But anyway, Jen made some quick assessment, and Oscar come up with a 10, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Guys, tell me please, which, let's say, 2 areas would be your main areas to investigate? Could you please type? Oscar, come up, not possible. Jen, okay. Yeah, Oscar, 6 and 8, exactly. So for some reason, how possible it is under question. And Jen moved into the area of, she checked, it's very nice that she checked any kind of restrictions, time kind of limitations, because there could be some other limitations. There could be some other circumstantial limitations or whatever. So we need to kind of start talking, yeah, digging. Anyway, for some reason, in the mind of our client, the possibility is the issue. Something is there. It's 6. I think it's low low enough for trigger our interest. Yeah. And 8, well, 8 is kind of good number already, but still, maybe, who knows, maybe if we dig deeper, we could come up with some interesting information there. So at least these are two lowest numbers, 6 and 8. So the area, let me just show, yeah, the area here and here would be area of our interest. So we'll be investigating the path. Maybe for some reason our client not quite sure that that particular behavior will lead to outcome. Maybe we need to add maybe some other behaviors, yeah, here, who knows. Maybe so far we come up with this behavior, but subconsciously my client knows that, oops, maybe it's not possible still. So we need maybe to investigate more behaviors. Maybe we need to modify this particular behavior anyway to create a change in this area. Yeah, possibility. And of course, something with ecology. I'm not sure what exactly kind of stopping Oscar there, but I would see more into the ecology and appropriateness. Guys, is it clear what that particular process is all about, what we are achieving having this particular structure? Is it clear for you how to remember that? Like a mnemotechnique, yeah, person, behavior, outcome, and immediately 5 questions, which comes, 3 questions related to those 3 rectangulars and 2 questions in the areas between. You could easily remember it. You don't need to even to have any notes. When your client is kind of coming to your session, you first of all you identify what is the problem, of course, what kind of outcome he would like to have. Then eventually you identify what he think he need to do, and then you could say, okay, let's see, in terms of your motivation, in terms of your limiting beliefs, and in terms of your areas of our further investigation. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's move on, because today we are gonna go even into the more fascinating area of connectives. Yeah. And guys, okay, so I need to clean. It's interesting how that automation works. It's somehow almost like some kind of glass. Yeah. So I'm moving. Okay. Connectives, guys, let's see again. I already asked you what connectives are. You gave me your simple kind of answer. And as a professionals, of course, we need to go deeper than simple answers. That common sense, it's a good thing. So connectives are some kind of links. Yeah, that's true. But if you could just Google, you will find lots of amazing, interesting material there. And I give you just you will come up with like a logic or logical connectives. You could come up with discourse connectives. You could come up with different, I would say, term as a discourse marker. And so there are different things related to connectives. You will read it maybe later. But from other hand, I don't want to complicate things. I would like do quite opposite. I would like to make it as simple as possible, because my task is to make it, not to make your life complicated, loading you with some scientific stuff, and as if you don't have your troubles already with other life issues. So I want to simplify things. So that's why we are not going to be diving into the whole theory about connectives. I would like to give you a tool which you could use tomorrow, literally. So that's why I deliberately skipping the whole kind of scientific stuff. But I would like just to mention a few things about connectives. Michael Swan, in his book Practical English Usage, he defines, actually it's pretty much connectives also, discourse marker, that's another term, as a word or expression which shows the connection between what is being said and the wider context. Wider. So you're probably familiar with that kind of statement, that what has been said and what has not been said, yeah, or what is missed, or some kind of skipped, or some information which is behind. Our client always deleting and skipping. They tell you something, and enormous amount of information they don't. So that Connectives is our way to investigate further. And I already told you many times that I always teach and advise my students, coaches. So when you start working with the clients, please do not rush to move into the solution zone. Do not rush to lead. Guys, tell me please, what do you really need to do first? Do you remember the word, or express it please in your own words? What we do with the client when we just started working with some particular issue? How do we call the whole process? Or what we actually do? You see, I mentioned you lead or moving them into the solution zone. So what would be the opposite? Because that's exactly what we do in the beginning. Pacing, yeah, perfect. Establishing trust, listen and checking deletions, yeah, perfect, exactly. Investigate further, brilliant. Okay, guys, that's exactly what we do. Please do not try to move your client prematurely into the solution zone. Please be with him. The question is, where is he? Well, he is in troubles. He is with a problem. Otherwise, he would not even come to you, yeah, as a coach. So be with your client. And it's another question, how long? That's already a different question. But first of all, pacing. And what it really means that we are investigating, we ask questions about problem. What is there, yeah? So follow the client agenda. Yeah, exactly. Well, his agenda could be to find solution, yeah, but that's a thing. Before you thoroughly can help, you need to know more. And client knows everything, and he is the only one who knows everything. So the client could assume that you could already help. Well, it's not exactly, because you need to dig and be with client. And by asking more questions about that situation where he is, not where he will be or want to be, but where he is, you could already help a lot, because your question could I would say highlight some blind spots. Maybe your client was not even able to realize that there are other things of descriptions of that particular problematic areas. Sometimes even to formulate the problem in a certain particular way, already part of the solution. But what people don't do usually, they don't formulate problem in the right way. So your investigation, your kind of artful work with the words, with the questions about problems still being there, eventually will lead to the opportunity to formulate the problem in such a way that solution will be closer. Yeah. So, and that's what Connectives come along. Yeah. So Connectives are allowing us to relate some part what already clear or has been said to other parts which are context. Yeah, just your client knows, you don't. Another way you could please read, because there is another guy, Ian McCormick, and his book The Art of Connection, and he identified, I would say, already some kind of classification of different connectives. Yeah, again, please don't later on when you have PDF files or whatever, you could take a look. Right now I don't want to complicate things. So he identified already kind of certain particular structure of different connectives which can be used. Some of them provide sense of where something is in relation to something else, so connect parts, or supply some sense you know, or of when, yeah, related to time, something happening, or compare two different things, like a comparison type of connections. There are lots of different types of connections. I also, if you Google, for example, Connectives images, yeah, I want you to see, for example, this is the one I found over the net, but there are hundreds of others. And you see here, you already can see the types of connections. Let me just, you see that that internal kind of part, yeah? That's already kind of classification of connections. Yeah, I think it's not 9 but 10. You see the connections related to additions or emphasis or contrast or illustration, cause effect, conclusion, and so on, so on, so on. Guys, okay, that's fine. It's kind of theory, but now you see what connections really are. You could read here above on the periphery, for example, cause-effect connections, because, so, you know, consequently, therefore, you know, and so on, so on. Illustration, for example, for instance, in other words, yeah. So please pay attention, because in your coaching session, those connection sites, it's incredible power. It will lead if you connect some limiting beliefs, and if you ask right question in relation to limiting beliefs, you will discover limiting clusters. I'm going to show you right now how it can be done. But before I move forward, I would like to ask you one question. What do you think in relation to our belief or limiting belief elicitation? Tell me, please, which ones from those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it's some kind of 10 subcategories, which ones we are most interested in? You see that illustration, contrast, emphasis, addition. Yeah, do you sense, like, what do you think? Of course, if you haven't been on our previous webinars, it's going to be a little bit tricky question. But if you do remember material from previous webinars, I think you could have a sense. Let me see, because maybe you will be able to answer. Which ones do you think from that 10 options we in a limiting belief kind of elicitation process we would be most interested in? Cause effect? Perfect, Olga. Yvonne, cause effect, okay. Anything else? Cause effect, okay, Diana, great. So this is definitely, I agree with you 100%. Any other? Just read. I think you will make sense with maybe one or two more. Opinion, perfect. Olga, congratulations, great. One more? What about one more? Persuasion, cause and effect. Yeah, cause effect, definitely. Persuasion, well, yeah, kind of warm, but it's not what I would like you to. Okay, I'm not going to be teasing you anymore. Okay, let me just use my drawings, and I'm going to show you what we are looking for. Guys, definitely cause effect, and the reason is very simple. It's in the structure of belief system. Cause effect is one of the connections which we are looking for when we elicit belief. Yeah, cause effect, it's type of connection. So it's definitely we are interested in. Opinion. Well, what beliefs are? Do you remember? It's opinion, conclusions, or evaluations. Yeah. So well, conclusions. Yeah. So we are talking about, I suppose to mark it maybe in a green area, but anyway, there are 3 areas, this, and this, yeah. So opinions, especially conclusions and cause effect. So those are we are most interested in. And right now you could see already the connectives, yeah. So cause effect connectives, those are blue ones. Conclusions, yeah, here, and opinions are here. So we will be using that particular words connectives. Yeah. Let me demonstrate you very briefly how you could use connectives in your coaching session. It's very simple, and it's gonna give you lots of useful information for you to work with your client. Let's see how we could search for limiting belief using connections. Well, you have two ways to do it. Oh, wise, guys, we have 5 minutes already over the time. Okay, anyway, so we are we are kind of practically there, and I will send you this particular presentation so you could take a look. Let me just give you two examples, but you see there are, I think, 12 or more. So I gave example with the 12 different connectives, but let me just have one, yeah? For example, you could ask, there are two ways how you could do it with your client. First, you could ask client to finish the sentence, to finish the sentence. So as soon as you identify something like a problematic, yeah, something which he cannot reach for whatever reason, so he cannot reach that, so it is a problem. And why people are hiring you? Because they have a problem of reaching their goal, yeah. So when you identify that particular outcome they would like to reach and have a struggle to reach, you could say, well, what would you lose, yeah, or could go wrong if you get what you want? Obviously, because you are not moving, so maybe subconsciously you think you're going to lose something valuable, yeah, or something can go wrong when you reach your outcome, maybe. So let me please start the sentence and you will finish it. So if I get what I want, then, and your client's supposed to finish what comes to his mind immediately, he's supposed to write down. But again, you see that before you ask that question, you're supposed to frame, because what we are looking for is that something he could lose or something it could go wrong. Because just in this case, I would say it stops him, yeah, to reach his outcome. It's not just if I get what I want, then I will be happy. Well, then it's not a stop. Yeah, it's not a problem. I don't think it's that particular thing stopping him. So we are looking for limiting belief connections. Yeah. So you need to explain your client, well, for whatever reason, somehow you have struggled to reach your goal. Yeah. It could be that you are losing something and subconsciously you know about that. Or maybe you're afraid that something goes wrong when you reach your outcome. So with that particular notion in mind, yeah, let's please do that exercise and you're going to finish the sentence. What comes to your mind? Please finish the sentence. If I get what I want, then bam. And your client could say, and then I will have no time whatsoever. I mean, or whatever. I mean, something which is, which is obviously could stop him. So that's, you see that, tell me please, do you see connectives? Could you please type what connectives in that particular part of the sentence, yeah, which we are using with the client? Where is the connective? Do you see the connective? Then, perfect, Diana. Okay, yes, it's highlighted in red, yeah. So then is connective. If I get what I want, then, yeah. So it will lead to something, yeah. Well, cause effect, exactly. In this particular thing, do you remember cause effect? That's why we are interested in not in every kind of connectives, but connectives related to cause effect. So let me show you another connectives. For example, again, you could say, well, what would it mean negatively about you or others if you got what you wanted? Yeah? Maybe when you get to your point of your destination or you reach your outcome, it tells something to other people about you, or maybe it will tell you about you. Obviously, again, it could be an issue, yeah, that's why you are not reaching that outcome. So let me start the statement and you will finish it. So again, you see that, guys, I explained to my client something which right now below the main statement. Yeah, what would it mean negatively about you or others if you got what you wanted? And then you ask your client to finish the sentence. So beginning sentence is getting what I want would mean, who knows what will come. Maybe for him, if he wants to be rich, maybe being rich means that he's a mean person, or he is selfish. Would mean that I am selfish, or I am like, yeah, who knows? It's really tricky to say, but if here something stops him, it will come up. And again, we will be connecting and finding some limiting beliefs using connectives, because mean is a connective. And right now it's complex equivalence kind of type of connection. Yeah, it's do you remember how the structure of beliefs? Yeah, we have cause effect and we have complex equivalent connection, which one means something. Yeah, I would have no time for my family. Exactly. Okay, guys. There are, when you click more, and there is be more and more, and there are connectives. Connectives will make, because, and so on, so on. There are many ways how you could use. There are plenty of interesting questions here. I'm gonna send you PDF, so at least we arrived in the area of connections. And I would like to apologize, because every time lots of people are new, and I spend every single time to somehow spend a little bit of time explaining what we have done in the previous webinars, because otherwise they will be probably less prepared. Yeah. So as a result, but I think it's even good that you are reinforcing the previous information. Yeah. So this is how you could use connectives in order to find some set of limiting beliefs, clusters. And again, practically the same thing you could do if you would like to reinforce and make something stronger. So this is really used for elicitation. But for example, if some person wants, have a positive statement, and he wants to be even more confident, like a more strong in that positive statement, we could connect that statement with the same connectives, yeah, with some other beliefs around, and they will, I would say, cementify, making it really powerful. So that's how we could reinforce. I'm going to make demonstration how it can be done precisely in the next webinar. Right now, I don't want to hold you any more longer. We already 12 minutes more above time. Guys, any questions? Is that material clear so far, what we covered? Could you please type yes if it's clear? Of course, I'm not going to have time to, if it's not clear, to clarify maybe more, but at least, okay, perfect. At least I have some kind of, okay, good. In this case, guys, thank you very much for your time. And you're welcome to next week webinars. And guys, pay attention, because I'm not sure if you're familiar with the, other our programs, because we are going to start this in a few days. I would say the enrollment will be over with strategic social media. So if some of you, for example, kind of in the business development things and would like to really improve your finding clients kind of marketing skills, you are more than welcome to the strategic social media. But I think you will find it in your email. So please pay attention if you really would like to move you forward to your business. So you have still 3 days or 2 days to enroll, and there are some discounts for our community and so on and so on. If not, it's totally fine. Next week, you're welcome to our next webinar, okay? And I'm going to send recordings, of course, to everyone. Thanks a lot, Marie, Olga, Olivia, Oscar, Jen, Yvonne, Ren, Fredo, Erica, Diana. I really appreciate that you found time, and see you next week then, okay? Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.